You know that moment. You're fine all day, clear, focused, steady, and then out of nowhere, it hits. That whisper in your mind, that pull in your chest, that voice saying, just one drink. You don't want it, but it's there. You can feel it. And that magnetic urge that seems to bypass logic entirely. And if you don't understand what's really happening in that moment, it can feel impossible to control. That's why most people relapse, not because they're weak, but because they never learned how to interrupt the craving before it takes over. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to stop any alcohol craving in 15 seconds, using a simple, science-backed method that shuts down the neurological loop causing it. By the end of this, you'll know exactly what's happening inside your brain when you crave, why most people try to fight it the wrong way, and how to flip the switch instantly whenever it appears. The truth, what a craving actually is. Here's what most people don't realize. A craving isn't emotional weakness, it's chemistry. When you drink regularly, your brain rewires itself around a simple reward pattern. Trigger, thought, action, reward. The trigger can be anything. Stress, boredom, celebration, a smell, a sound, a time of day. Your brain links that cue with alcohol. So the moment the trigger appears, dopamine fires, not because you drank, but because your brain expects a drink. That little dopamine spike doesn't make you happy, and it makes you restless. It's your brain's way of saying, we're about to get a reward, go get it. If you ignore it, that energy builds into tension. If you give in, the tension releases. That's why cravings feel like pressure, and why drinking feels like relief. So, the craving isn't a command, it's just a prediction error. Your brain expecting a reward that isn't coming. And if you can interrupt that signal for just 15 seconds, your brain recodes the pattern instantly. The loop. Why willpower fails. When a craving hits, most people try to resist. They tense up, fight it, distract themselves. But here's the problem. Resistance keeps your attention locked on the craving. Neuroscientists call this the ironic process. Whatever you try not to think about, your brain focuses on even more. So every time you say, don't think about drinking, your brain hears drinking and fires the same pathways again. That's why white-knuckling never works. You're feeding the very circuit you're trying to silence. To break the craving, you don't fight it, you reprogram it. And that's exactly what this next method does. The method. 15 seconds to reset. When the craving hits, here's what to do. Step 1. Pause. Literally, stop whatever you're doing. Don't argue with the thought. Don't analyze it. Just say to yourself, this is a craving. It's a brain glitch, not a command. That single sentence creates distance between you and the urge, and it moves the craving from the emotional part of your brain, the amygdala, to the logical part, the prefrontal cortex. You're telling your brain, we're safe, we're aware, we're not reacting. Step 2. Breathe. Take a slow, deep breath in for 4 seconds. Hold for 2. Exhale for 6. Here's why that works. Cravings hijack your sympathetic nervous system, your fight-or-flight response. That slow exhale activates the parasympathetic side, your body's natural brake pedal. Within 10 seconds, your heart rate lowers, your cortisol drops, and your brain's alarm quiets down. Step 3. Shift the sensation. While breathing out, focus your attention on a neutral physical sensation. The feeling of your feet on the floor, air on your skin, or the rise and fall of your chest. This is called interoceptive grounding. It brings your awareness back into your body where cravings can't survive, because cravings only live in thought. If you do this for just 15 seconds, the dopamine surge that triggered the craving dissipates, Your brain realizes the reward didn't come, but nothing bad happened. And the next time that trigger appears, the craving will be weaker. Repeat this a few times, and the loop breaks completely. The science, why it works. Every time you respond differently to a craving, you weaken the neural pathway that links trigger to drink. In neuroscience, it's called extinction learning. The brain learns that the old behavior no longer produces a reward, so it stops wasting energy on it. Think of it like deleting a shortcut on your phone that leads to a broken app. The button still exists, but after a while you stop pressing it. That's how cravings fade, not through time, but through retraining your brain's prediction system. And here's the most empowering part. This happens fast. You don't need 90 days of pain. You need 15 seconds of awareness, repeated enough times to rewire the pattern. Because the craving isn't the problem. Your reaction is. Once you learn to meet it with calm instead of fear, the brain stops seeing it as a threat, and the craving dies in real time. The shift. Turning cravings into clarity. The more you practice this, the more something amazing starts to happen. Cravings stop being scary, they become signals. Every time one appears, it's just your brain saying, hey, here's an area we still need to heal. And that perspective changes everything. Because now, instead of fighting cravings, you use them. You turn every urge into a training rep, each one reinforcing your freedom instead of testing it. That's when quitting stops feeling like avoidance and starts feeling like mastery. Because the goal isn't to never crave again, it's to never be controlled by craving again. And once you reach that point, you realize something powerful. Cravings weren't your enemy. They were your teacher. They showed you exactly where alcohol still had influence, so you could reclaim that power one moment at a time. The deeper layer. Why cravings come back. Even after months of freedom, a craving can still appear. Not because you're addicted again, but because of emotional association. A place, a smell, a memory. Your subconscious connects that moment with who you used to be. And for a split second, it tests the connection. Are we still that person? If you respond automatically, the loop restarts. If you respond consciously, breathing, grounding, naming, the loop ends permanently. That's how you train your mind to recognize the difference between an old identity and your current reality. Because the truth is, you're not a drinker trying to resist. You're a free person remembering how to stay free. The hidden battle. So remember this. A craving is not a command. It's just an echo, a flash of old wiring that loses power the moment you stay calm enough to watch it fade. You don't need to fight it. You don't need to fear it. You just need to stay present for 15 seconds. And let your awareness do what alcohol never could. Bring you peace. That's how you end the craving. That's how you win back control. But once those cravings disappear, something else begins to surface, something deeper, because when the noise of addiction goes quiet, you start seeing the world and the people around you with new eyes. You notice how many people are still living in the same loop you just escaped. The ones who say, I'm fine, I can handle it. The ones who seem successful, calm, high-functioning. But look closer. Behind the composure, there's the same anxiety, the same dependence, the same quiet exhaustion you used to feel. Only now it's hidden behind control. And that illusion is the most dangerous part of all, because what looks like balance on the outside can still be chaos on the inside. If you've ever wondered why some people never hit rock bottom, why they can drink every day and still look normal, you need to understand what's really going on behind that mask. So if you're ready to see the truth most people never talk about, click the video on the screen now. Because once you see what's really happening beneath the surface, You'll never envy that kind of control again.